This segment will be a burn-in demonstration. One of the tips that I might give is on the stand for the burn-in knife. If you put a piece of tape down, that will keep it from sliding around on you. And this is how it sets in the stand. We don't want to set it like this because then the stand would heat up and could possibly damage a surface. So we'll just lay the knife in there while it's heating up. Now, before I use a knife, I always like to clean it. And I clean it each and every time I use it. I want to lay this flat on the surface and just give it a little bit of a clean. That way we get all the old material off and we make sure that we have a clean surface on the tool. I always look at the end of it there to make sure that I'm cleaning all the way across. And then the last thing I do is dub the blade at about a 15 to 30 degree angle. That way the edge is not sharp and won't damage the surface. Burn-in sticks are quite a bit different than a wax fill stick. The burn-in stick material is much tougher. Has some of the same similar resins that a hot melt glue might have. So we do have great adhesion with it. The nice thing about this is it won't dent. And you really be difficult to dig it back out, where a fill stick is pretty soft. So we're going to use this method in areas from the countertop up to that area we can comfortably reach, areas that are going to get more scrutiny. It takes a few minutes for the knife to heat up. We're just about there. On the back of a piece of sandpaper, I can take and melt some of the material. And this particular color is a little bit dark, so I'm going to add just a little bit of this lighter material in and intermix the colors. And I'll just heat that up, mix it thoroughly till I get the one color. And then I'm going to pick the sandpaper up and get the material back on my knife blade. I'll go right back on the blade. My defect, I made sure that I didn't have any splinters sticking up. And I'm just going to take and dip that into the defect and let that material come off the knife and fill the defect up. Get a little more off my sandpaper here. Don't like to waste any material. Put that back on the knife, and then we're going to transfer it right to the defect. Again, I use the tip of the knife to kind of drag it around and make sure that I fill the whole part of the defect and that I don't have any bubbles in the defect. I can wet my finger and press on that, and it's already started to harden. We do have to have a rag handy. We always wipe our knife blade off every chance we get. So besides the burn-in knife and a burn-in stick and a rag, we also need the burn-in lubricant. Once we fill the hole, we're going to apply this material around the defect. This lubricant is going to do a couple of things for us. It will protect the surface from the heat of the knife, and it'll also allow us to pick up that excess material rather than just chase it around the surface. So like an airplane coming in for a touch and go landing, I just touch the surface, add a little bit of pressure, and as I go across, I can level that repair. While the lube is still on there, I can take my finger and check it for level. I need to level that just a little bit more. Check it again. That's much more level. If I feel like I need to sand it, I can take some of the 400 grit sandpaper and just lightly sand that with the lubricant on there. A couple of passes should do it. Feels perfectly level. I can now clean off the lube. Now the lube is a special formula that does not interfere with adhesion. If I top coat this, I'll still get good adhesion. So once we have that done, we can come back, add some grain lines in. We can use our brush tip graining pen. We can use an art brush with some powder and solvent, the brush graining liquid, and color that in, and then we could top coat this. When we top coat it, we put on light misting coats. We never like to use heavy wet coats. So that's a basic burn in. A little bit of practice, we can get pretty good at it.